And we're back in the mechanical room. So I'm gonna see if I can get a picture of this, but basically the compressor froze up and this unit was just replaced last summer. So we're here to see why it's not cooling. So here we go. All right, so I pulled out the filter. It's not terrible. Shouldn't be causing any kind of freezing. So we're gonna go ahead and flip the unit back on because they turned off the disconnect to defrost it for me. So we'll put this all back together and we'll call for cooling. All right, so we're out here. We're waiting for the unit to turn on. It's currently about 55 degrees outside. So we have 156 PSI on both sides in the off position. So that's about right. There we go. Unit just kicked off. Ooh, that doesn't sound good. We'll let it run for a minute, see what's up. So if you notice here, the factory charge is 4 pounds, 11 ounces, and they put 6.9. So they added a little bit of refrigerant. So we're gonna let this run for a little bit and stabilize, and then we'll check it again. All right, so she's stabilized. So our suction's at 101, and our high side's at 199, saturating at 68 degrees. So it's 57 degrees out here right now. Superheat's at 5, subcooling's at 2. We have a return of 75 degrees with a 47 degree discharge. So yeah, I think our charge is off, but we want to check a few things. We know the filter is good. So if we look here, it's about 60 degrees, and our indoor wet bulb, which, let's see, our indoor wet bulb return is 59 degrees. So right about here, so we should have about 195. So that's right about where we're at on our high side. Yeah, we're at 204, so that seems to be fine. And we should be at an 8 degree subcool. So if you notice here, the original factory charge was 4 pounds, 11 ounces, and they put an additional charge in here, 6.9. So they did compensate for the line set, so that's good. But I think that they're still slightly off. We're gonna go make sure there's no airflow restrictions or anything like that first, and then we'll go from there. All right, so the coil itself looks like it's good. Yeah, coil's clean. So that's not it. Yeah, it's definitely good. So we'll go ahead and put this back together and we'll check the bulb. It's right here. Oh. That feels loose. Well, let's get this back together and we'll check that out. Okay, so now you can see I have the copper strapping on there. It's not going nowhere now. It's on there really tight. I was actually able to move it down one. You just have to, bend it to shape better. I'm going to use the existing insulation, this stuff, but then I'm going to wrap it with foam tape just to make sure it's properly insulated. And then we'll go from there. All right, so we got it wrapped. This is just to offer more insulation, and then I'm going to use the foam tape to seal it better. So we got her all insulated properly now. Put a zip tie at the beginning of the roll and at the end. That way it doesn't, if it peels off, it won't unroll itself. And it's about 85 degrees in here, so I'm starting to think that was what was our issue. So we're going to go ahead and fire it up, let it stabilize, and then we'll see what the pressures look like now. All right, so she's been running for about 10 minutes. My suction pressure is still a little bit low, but again, it's under a low load. It's only like 57 degrees. But look at my superheat. I'm at like 13. It's been bouncing between 10 and 15-ish. I actually have some subcooling, which is close to where it should be. So the TXV bulb being loose is definitely an issue. This is a little bit low, but I think that's more because it's on a, low load. I'm gonna let it run for a little bit longer. I don't think I need to add refrigerant. If I do, it's gonna be very little. But I think the issue is this is for a kitchen. So they've been running it overnight, at the nighttime while they're cooking. And I think there's no low ambient kit on this. So I think that might be the case, is I think they've left it on overnight and it just ran and just turned into a big old ice ball. But yeah, you can see we're at like 105. Another thing that's a little concerning is there might be some non-condensables in there because it keeps bouncing. So, but Yeah, but my superheat's much better than it was, so that means the TXV is actually doing something. So yeah, we might be a little bit low, but because if they were charging it, you know, with the TXV bulb not being on there properly. But the concerning thing is my pressures keep bouncing, so there might be some non-condensables in there. Hey guys, I forgot to record this at the time, but once I got that first one fixed, somebody said, hey, these other 2 units aren't working, so I went ahead and diagnosed 2 more units, so that's what all this stuff is, so enjoy. This liquid line's extremely hot. Compressor is probably not running on this one. Alright, so we have a low ambient kit that's not connected. So yeah, alright, so we'll go ahead and start with the run cap because the condenser fan motor is not running, so we'll go ahead and make sure that everything is plugged in properly, which it looks like it so far. Yeah, that's right. So let's check that run cap, see what's up. So we're checking the run cap and it is at 5.05 out of 5. And run capacitor for the compressor side is at 35. So this run cap is fine. So I'm suspecting that motor is dead. Alright, let's get an amp draw on this fan motor. We have it on inrush. Yeah, motor's dead. Interesting thing is the compressor didn't even try to turn on. It's probably on thermal overload. So yeah, we got a bad fan motor. See if we can get the specs off of it. So if we look at this, you probably can't see it, but it's a 825 RPM, it's 6 horsepower, uses 5 capacitor, 1.38 amps. Let's see what we got on the truck. Blower, here we go. 6 horse, 825 RPM. Let's see, 1.6 uses, what kind of run cap does it use? 10, so we'll have to go for 3510. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and take this motor off. We'll start with the blade and then take the motor off and go from there. So this is gonna be pointing down, so we want to pull out this drain plug. Don't forget to pull out the drain plug. There we go. Okay, let's see if she works. Alright, fan kicked on, but I got no compressor. So we're going from run to common, and you can see it's open. It's open line. That's because the thermal overload is tripped. Now we're going to check start to run. If that's open, then that means the windings are dead. So let's check that. Okay, so we're going to do run to start. We still have a reading, so yeah, so it's just on thermal overload, so we got to wait till this thing cools. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and cycle our fan. While the fan's spinning, that should help cool the compressor. I'm not sure if there's a water spigot out here. If there is, I might just dump water on that compressor to reset it. Alright. Alright, so thermal overload reset, so we'll go ahead and reconnect our compressor. Alright, we got to reconnect it. Let's go ahead and flip her on. Okay, compressor kicked on. And we got fan. It's not burning hot anymore. 53 degrees supply. Alright, so that one's fixed. We're going to go ahead and look at this one now, because that one's not working. It's calling for cool and it's not running. I'm pretty sure it's this one, I think. But yeah, this one's back up and running, so we'll put the cover back on and then move on to the next one. Hopefully that's the right one. Alright, so contactor's closed on this one, but nothing's happening, so we may have a trip breaker. Second thing, look at the coil, it's completely just plugged. So basically they have big, huge, like industrial laundry machine, industrial dryer machines for laundry. That's why it's all, so they're all plugged with the, you know, the lint and stuff. Let's see if we have voltage here. Yeah, no high voltage. We'll go ahead and check the disconnect. And we're just gonna make sure these fuses are good. Yep. Okay, so we're checking for voltage. We got nothing, so we need to find a breaker. First things first, we're gonna check to make sure nothing's grounded or shorted or whatever. All right, just checking the run cap. It's a 70, so that's within spec. Okay, so this is a single phase compressor. So we're checking from common to run. We got 0.48. We're gonna go common to start. 8. 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's 1.2. So we're going to go from start to run, and that should be right around 1.2-ish. So it's right there. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and go to ground. All right, so we're going to do start to ground. Nothing. Start to run, or I'm sorry, ground to run. Nothing. Ground to common. Nothing. All right, so we don't have a ground to compressor. Let's check the condenser fan motor. We're going to do run to common, or I'm sorry, run to ground. Nothing. Run to start. Up. Nope, nothing. I think our condenser fan motor is okay. It may have just overamped and caused the breaker to pop because of the dirty condenser coil. It's totally a possibility. Let's see if we can find the breaker. That's going to be the next fun part. All right, so whoever you are that wrote this down, thank you very much. Found the breaker. It was definitely tripped. We're gonna, since I wasn't getting any shorts, we're gonna go ahead and just try to cycle power and see if it just trips again. I do have my meter on there to see what the amp draws look like. So here we go. Compressor is 19.5. Condenser fan is 1.3, but I think that's been replaced. So it might, the condenser fan motor might be a universal. But we're at 13.6 on our compressor sets, well below. So yeah, I don't know why that happened. Weird. All right, so our fan's at 1 amp. Compressor's at 12. So that other amp draw I was getting, that was actually total. I had it down here. So our total amp draw on this unit right now is about 13 amps. So let's get a thermal imager on that breaker. Okay, so 7 and 9 was our breaker. So let's go ahead and point it there. So yeah, it's not super hot. It's running at 68 degrees. It does have a hot spot there though. This one down here is kind of hot. It's still 74 degrees, so I'm not too worried. Okay, there's refrigerant flowing, and we're at 50 degree discharge. This guy's still running fine, hasn't frozen up. This guy's running fine, and this one's running fine, so we got a 3 for today. So anyway, that's how you diagnose these systems. So thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, comment, what a horrible technician I am. Hit that bell notification, follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and if you want to support the channel, pick up some tools on my tool store, get some work socks. Thanks for watching.